Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. But if they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
I had your job once. I was good at it.
Things were simpler then.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So Blade Runner trailer, let's break it down. If you didn't know, this is a sequel, it's not a reboot. There are going to be a couple other big trailers this holiday season, so make sure you enable alerts so that you don't miss anything. But what's going on here is that this is a sequel to the original Blade Runner movie, so even if you don't remember the plot of the first Blade Runner movie or any of like the big mysteries behind it, you kind of get the sense from here. It's a very Star Wars The Force Awakens style plot teaser where they say 30 years after the first film, Ryan Gosling's character named Kay with the LA Police Department finds a secret that could throw what's left of society into chaos, and what he finds out, like the big mystery, leads him to seek out Deckard, who's been missing for the past 30 years. So you get the idea, like Star Wars The Force Awakens, Luke has been missing for 30 years, there's this big new secret that's uncovered, they have to go find him, so this new Blade Runner movie is sort of passing the torch in the way Star Wars is to Ryan Gosling, who's kind of the new Deckard-style character. But we'll address some of the mysteries too, because there's still some of the lingering mysteries of the first film, and they said that they're not going to answer whether or not Deckard is a replicant. But Ridley Scott has actually speculated on that, so I'll include some of that in this video. But you see how they begin the trailer with dialogue that's directly copied from the first film. That Deckard monologue is right out of the first film. If they cause problems, then it's my job to take them down. Then you see Ryan Gosling's character seek out Deckard in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. It looks like society is crumbling, even though you see him walking through a city earlier in the trailer. But he plays the piano. It's the same tune from the first movie that's kind of meant to end the film, making you wonder whether or not Deckard was really a replicant. And then Harrison Ford steps out, the old man. So you're like, wait a minute. So most of my thoughts from this trailer are like, wait a minute. Does that mean that replicants can age? The real revelation of the movie is obviously tied to the idea of humanity, who's a replicant, who's a real person, what is a real person, do androids dream of electric sheep, all of the big twists from the first film, but approached in a slightly different way, trying to recontextualize it. Like Ryan Gosling's character tries to make it sound like things are so much more complicated now, that maybe technology has advanced so much that you can no longer distinguish between human and replicant. Like at the beginning of the original movie, the replicant Leon glitches out and attacks the person giving it this Voight-Kampff test. That's what they called it in the movie. It was just a test designed to distinguish replicants based on their emotional responses to questions. Maybe what Ryan Gosling's character is implying is that they can now pass that test. It's no longer effective.
They're just questions, Leon. In answer to your query, they're written down for me. It's a test designed to provoke an emotional response. Shall we continue? Describe in single words only the good things that come into your mind. About your mother?
My mother?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about my mother.
Because the only other super big twist that I could think of would be like a Battlestar Cylon situation where this has all happened before, like society crumbled in Matrix style. They're just in a different iteration of the same loop over and over, where humanity rises up, creates replicants, replicants kill off humans, then they themselves transcend humanity, and the whole cycle starts again. Or it's a much simpler twist, and everyone has been a replicant this whole time. So you guys can let me know what you think. Based on some of the twists and the questions set up in the first film, what is a replicant? Do androids dream of electric sheep? Are they capable of being more human than human? Maybe the person that you thought was a human this whole time has really been a replicant. And like I said, it's a little frustrating, but the director did say that they tried to avoid addressing directly whether or not Deckard is a replicant. So in the context of the original film, replicants are only supposed to live for about 4 years. Like, that's their cycle. Then they get decommissioned. So you don't really know if a replicant can age. So I can see how it was easy for them to step around that issue, because you could still be a replicant and be old. Like, they have tissue, so the tissue would age. If you haven't seen the original film in a while, the reason that people think that Deckard was a replicant is because he keeps having dreams of this unicorn. Then Gaff, at the end of the film, who makes these origami figures, Edward James Olmos, so we've been talking about Battlestar Cylon twist, Edward James Olmos makes an origami unicorn and sets it on the piano, just like the piano that Ryan Gosling is playing in this. So it just meant to imply that Deckard was a replicant this whole time.
It's too bad she won't live. But then again, who does?
During an interview in 2000, Ridley Scott seemingly confirmed that he thought Deckard was a replicant, but the problem is that he didn't write the film, and the people that have wrote the film, and like everyone else has said, that this isn't canon because he's not the writer, and the actual writer of the film would be the one to confirm or disconfirm the theory, which they have not done. So you could actually make the argument Deckard was a replicant, Deckard is not a replicant, either way. But I have a feeling that just like Star Wars The Force Awakens, Harrison Ford probably won't be involved with this franchise if it continues forward. So do not be surprised if he dies during the film after a very long monologue about all the sights that he has seen, just Rutger Hauer style. One of the best monologues in sci-fi film history.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched C-beams glitter in the dark near the 10-house gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain.
But overall, the film looks fantastic just based on the trailer, the set design. The original film, if you haven't watched it in a while, go back and rewatch it again. It is one of the most iconic sci-fi films from the 80s. It has some of the most amazing architecture you've ever seen in a film. So what's going to happen next is I have some Rick and Morty Season 3 footage. I'll post that. There may be some new Justice League posting tomorrow. If there isn't, then I have some Flash Season 3 that I'll post. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for all my Star Wars Rogue One Easter eggs, and you can click here for the Justice League teaser that just dropped. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.